Hello and welcome to the space that gives you inspiration on work, on life, and how to balance both worlds. Guess what? We're coming to our fifth and final video on this series of self-discovery. And as we wrap it all up, I mean, to be honest, it's not everything, but it's, I think, for me, the highlights of self-discovery for me that I've shared with you. So in this video, I'd like us to discuss self-acceptance. Now, you've gone through self-identity in terms of who you truly are. Then you've gone through self-image, through self-awareness, through self-esteem, and now we're going to look at self-acceptance, okay? Now, sometimes, to be honest, in my mind, self-acceptance and self-esteem keep interchanging. Because if you find that you have an inflated self-esteem, then you need a certain level of self-acceptance. If you have a certain level of low esteem, if you have a low self-esteem, then you have to first reach a place of self-acceptance. So probably one comes before the other. I'll leave that up to you because I guess I like chronological stuff. But I want to talk today about self-acceptance because I kind of wanted to, you know, when you have a present and you nicely put it in a little bowl, I felt like self-acceptance would be that last video in this video series on self-discovery. So self-acceptance is an individual's acceptance of themselves, of who they are, of their attributes, right? First of all, I want to give myself a hand clap for not saying anything about strengths and weaknesses over the last video series, the last 4 video series, because I know how tempting it can be. But today I do want to talk about that, right? In terms of your attributes. We're talking your physical attributes, your internal, your external, how you feel, that whole group of things that we've talked about in self-identity, self-image, self-awareness, self-esteem, that whole group of them, the place of acceptance. I remember, like I told you in the last video, that self-awareness was probably my hardest part of self-discovery, of discovering myself. But then self-acceptance gave me peace. Yeah, self-acceptance gave me peace, knowing my attributes, both the positive and the negative. To myself, I came to a place of acceptance. Now, if I had time, more time to do this video series on self-discovery, after this, you know, after going through self-identity, self-awareness, self-image, self-esteem, we start to go into things like self-worth, self-acceptance, self-love, self-confidence. And then we start to look at what the world thinks about us. But like I've shared, I don't have enough time to do that. So I brought self-acceptance really quickly and really close. But after you've accepted yourself, you should go through a place of self-worth and self-love and self-confidence in who you are. Then you start to think about what other people think of you and compare it with who you are, and then work towards the variance or the difference, either to be a better person, or to be a better version of yourself because of what they've shared with you. So this acceptance of yourself comes with accepting both your positives and your negative side, and just allowing that that's who you are. That is you. Just that acceptance of that knowledge of yourself and why you do what you do and who you are and all of those things, just coming to a place of acceptance and of peace, of the knowledge of who you are. That's what, for me, self-acceptance is. So how do you reach this place of self-acceptance? The first thing you want to do is relate with yourself. I don't know if you've watched, for example, Bump Love. If you've not, I will leave a link in the description box. But it's really a group of 5 moms who are different in their thoughts and on opinions. And the reason we created it is because we think differently about different aspects of motherhood. And what we wanted is that the audience can watch and say, oh, I relate with Pumla, or I relate with Rachel, I relate with Rosette, I relate with Angie, I relate with Manuela. So that relating, because you identify yourself as, you recognize yourself in another person, would like to turn it back. For you to start your journey of self-acceptance, you need to relate with yourself and be like, yeah, Manuela, yeah, I get you. I see you. I feel you. Even when it's wrong, that's how much self-acceptance is like. It's to be in a place of allowing and embracing it, saying that is it, you know. So to say with you, I relate with you. I see the weakness. I see the failure. I see the lack of confidence. I see it. I relate. I know it. Because you see, one of the things that I didn't talk about in terms of self-identity is that you have a soul. And your soul is in between your body and your spirit. It's in the middle there. And if you can get to a place where your spirit can talk to your body, for me, that's the part that I'm talking about, where your spirit says to your body, I see you, I recognize you, I see you. Kind of like in third person. It's a place of knowledge and accepting from your gut. And then when you've related with yourself, you want to celebrate your positives. You want to accentuate them. You want to strengthen them. You want to make them better. If you have a beautiful face, accentuate it. Make it better, because you know that is you. If you're intelligent and you've found that out, then even increase it, even accentuate it, even do more with it, become better with it, you know. When you realize that you're generous and it comes straight from your heart, even give more, because you're realizing you're positive. Accept them, accentuate them, celebrate them, just indulge in your positives so that you can accept it. So that, you know. And then when it comes to the negatives, I would like you to forgive your earlier self. Let it go. It's okay. Yes, you're selfish, but forgive yourself for it. It's kind of who you are, you know, but forgive yourself. You know, don't be too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself. We are sinners, really. None of us is perfect, save for God. So forgive yourself. Let it go. You're a jealous person. You're a hateful person. The truth. Forgive yourself. Let it go. It's not just you. Just let it go. You're pessimistic. It's okay. Forgive yourself, because the next step is going to be that you're going to work at it. At this point, no one has told you these things. No one has told you. But because of the self-awareness section of self-discovery, these weaknesses that you have, you're going to work on them so you be a better version of yourself. Because you're already that person. So working on it just makes you a better version of yourself. Not for anybody, but for your own good. It is for your own good that you are forgiving. It is for your own good that you are faithful. It is for your own good that you are truthful. It is for your own good that you're not a jealous person. It is for your own good that you're not a hateful person. It's for your own good. So you're going to work on these negatives about yourself to become a better version of yourself. There's certain things that you can't work on. For example, maybe your breasts reached until the floor like mine. Dress them up. Make them better. You know what I mean? Work on it. If you have the money and you have the strength, do more. I keep telling people that when I get money like this, you'll know I have money. When I've gone and done plastics, that's when you say, oh, Manuela, she has really arrived. But you know what I mean? For the things that you can change, go and work on them, the things that you find that are negative about you. I keep talking about telling my brother, this perfectionism, too much. Work on it. And then he says it's a spirit of excellence. Anyway, ultimately, work on those things about yourself that need work, right? And then resist the urge to fit in. As human beings, as social beings, we we like to liken with other people. You enter a conversation, everybody is drinking. You realize that for you, alcohol is not for you. But then you decide to take it because resist the urge. It's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. In fact, you were created to be unique. You were created not to fit in. God is not, he's not a God of similars. He's a God of differences. We're all different. So walk in your difference. Walk in your uniqueness. It's okay to be in a space where everyone will go like, what? So you're not going to take out? It's okay. Drink water, drink a Coke, do whatever, but don't fit in. Resist the urge to fit in on your journey of self-discovery. So you see, what does it feel like now that I'm not fitting in? How do I feel? And then get a support system. That's a 6th step. Get a support system that can support who you are. Not that are telling you what to be or what to do, but who can support who you are on your journey to being a better version of yourself. So when you've done all of these 6 steps, how do you know you've arrived? Like, how do you know you've reached a place of ultimate self-acceptance? 1, you don't compare yourself. You find no need to compare yourself because you realize that you're different. You're different from everybody else. You're different from your housemaid. You're not better than her. You're different from her. You're different from your gate man. You're not better than him. No, you're just different. He could be in your place and you could be in his place. That's how it works. So the day you reach a place where you don't compare yourself, you don't see yourself, you don't enter a room and start sizing people up, you've probably reached a place of self-acceptance. You've also probably reached a place of self-acceptance if you're secure in the knowledge of yourself. You're not insecure, you know. You know that this is who you are. So if you, for example, entered a situation where people were drinking and you ended up actually drinking because you found out in your self-awareness that the reason as to why you do what your peers do is because you want to find acceptance with people. Now this time when you go to drink, you're like, yeah, the truth is I'm doing this because I want to be accepted. That's why. And you know it. But you don't just know it, you're ready to make changes to be a better version of yourself for the greater good of the world, not just because somebody said. I keep likening this. I mean, I went through this whole self-discovery journey, and I remember at the point of self-awareness is I was in the thick of being married. And I remember many times that every time my husband gave me feedback about myself, and I was searching myself to know who I am, I remember most of the time saying, if I changed, am I changing who I am? Or am I changing to be a better version of myself? I kept asking myself that question. And if I found that I was changing who I am, I knew I was doing it because of him. And that wasn't right, and that wasn't fair to him or to myself. And so for me, it became important that every time I made a change in myself, I was making a change in myself to be a better version of myself, not to just change because somebody said I should change. Now, to be honest, the topic of self-discovery is big because I've not talked about self-worth. I've not talked about self-love. I've not talked about self-confidence. But these are all the things that you go through on your journey of self-discovery. And so I'd like to challenge you to go and find out more about self-discovery. And as if that's not enough, I've now only just covered the parts where you're doing the intrinsic work of finding out more about yourself. But there's the extrinsic, where you're asking people. That's scary also. That's really scary, where you think that, you know, you are, you know, strong-minded, and people are seeing that you're egotistic, or they're seeing that you're proud, or that you're a pushover. That's going to be tight, right? But that's also another, after you've done internal self-discovery, you want to go through the external, so you have a holistic view of who you are. Until next time, I can't wait to see you. Bye-bye.